Hi guys, it's me, TONIK TZW, and this is one of those videos that I tend to call a spud run, and it's when you absolutely do your utmost to try and do what you can for the team, but it doesn't matter what you do, there is absolutely no way in heck that your team is going to win a game. And I really did cry 145,000 salty tears and let out 2,390 cries of frustration at this one, which is quite a lot for 15 minutes. Now, for those of you that spotted that the Tulsa was muted, it's because they had music, awful music really, going off in the background, as well as probably having a bit of a domestic by the conversation that was going on there. But look, hey, we've got B cap. It's always our favourite cap for some reason. Wargaming always seems to like that I play B cap, and it's always the worst cap to play because nobody wants to play it, and I'm looking for support, and this game is going to turn into a bag of catnip rather than rat, another word that rhymes with nip and ship, at a very, very early stage. And I think a lot of us will agree that legendary tier is broken. It is unfixable because anybody can get their hands onto a legendary tier ship. And when you see a guy go running straight to hide behind a rock, and you see another guy just turning and running away from you, when there's a broadside sleeving out there that they could quite easily take massive chunks of health off. Let's have a look. A little bit like that, but with a bit more of a focus. If everybody wasn't hiding behind rocks, we might be able to push this cap and take a little bit of an early lead. Now, I'm in a smoke screen, but my sonar is also running because I know there are two Shimikazes out there, which seems to be the absolute favourite destroyer for many people who haven't got a clue on how to play destroyers, because they believe that 15 torpedoes trumps everything in this game. Let me tell you, we're going to prove them wrong, but it's going to take a little while before we get to that point. Now, I know that the sleeving sail and broadside to a capture point is highly likely to mean that torpedoes are going to come in, which is why I've used this island for cover while I had my sonar running and while I was in a smoke screen, because there's no word of a lie that that sleeving was going to put torpedoes through that smoke screen. We are left with a conqueror out there in front of us. The cap is not being taken by red team. My closest target is off to the left, and where I'd love to get some fires on that conqueror, obviously the moment that I pop my smoke screen again, it disappears, which means that absolutely nobody has a line of sight on them. Oh look, we've got ships hiding behind islands. How surprising. The guy who ran across from B cap has managed to sail in and hit the only island at the back of the map on the left side. We are two ships down because our Seattle that was parked on the edge of A cap decides that he wants to go toe to toe with a grosser Kerr first, and we all saw how that ended up for him. I feel safe from Ishima. I can see the Giuseppe, so I'm aware that he has radar, but I want this cap so that I can move out and move on and try and do something else to support my team, even though it really feels like we're not getting any support from them at all at the moment. The two guys that the one guy that is now left on A cap, they are just doing the bow tanking thing, and obviously the battleship that was behind us is across there as well, and you'd think that between them they'd be able to do something, but no, because we are less than 5 minutes into the game, and in fact even at the 4.5 minute point of the game we were 4 ships down. That says it all for how this game is going to pan out. The Conqueror begins to feel brave, so he decides that he is going to come in against me, and it's at this point that I've realised I've had enough of sitting in this cap expecting people to do anything by any means of support, and I'm going to get out of here because that Conqueror can slap me. So I decide that I'm going to push round onto C cap. You'll see that red team still have 2 Shimikazes out here somewhere. I can see that I am located, which means that that Shimikaze is coming round towards B cap. We land a torpedo on the Conqueror, and he's damage controlled that, so that means that we can potentially get a fire on him. And I'm looking to see what these 2 guys here are doing beside me, and the answer is absolutely nothing. Now, I don't want to be on that capture point when that Shimikaze comes round onto it, because that Conqueror is pushing in to support him. That is not a healthy place for me to be. So I'm hoping that these 2, I don't want to say idiots, because they might not be idiots. They might be very intelligent people. They might just not have a clue how warships are supposed to be played. But I was thinking that, maybe, they'll get some fire on this Conqueror. He's got a fire ticking on him. The Conqueror's shooting at them, but why aren't they shooting at the Conqueror? Oh, look, are they putting some fire in? No, there we go. It's me that's shooting at the Conqueror, and the only reason I can see him is because he's got a smoke fire penalty, so I can see him out of the smoke. We lose the GK at the back of the map. He was the guy that ran away from B cap at the start, and now because I know that Conqueror is pushing around this corner, oh look, there's like a battleship here and a cruiser, and they're doing absolutely nothing. So sorry guys, I've wanted help for such a long time, and I know you're going to be screaming for intelligence data and help and get back and this, that and the other, but I'm sorry, you haven't done anything for me, so I am past the point of thinking that I am going to do anything for you. 53,000 damage, a solo cap, a couple of fires, a torpedo hit. It is absolutely nothing for this game. But look, this cap has still not been taken. The guy that is across there on A cap, sorry, I don't know what ship it is, but all he is doing is reversing to the back of the map. And at this point, I've had enough. I know I'm not going to survive, but what I'd like to do is try and get a shot on this Giuseppe Verdi and hopefully push him back from the cap. But once again, as I roll into my smoke, target disappears, but the fact that he's fired his guns is going to give me the opportunity to spot him. Now this Giuseppe is going to have his head screwed on the right way, whereas my team all seem to have their heads stuck up their backsides. I've left those guys there to the mercy of the Conqueror and the Shimikaze, which obviously came across to A, went back across to B to support the Conqueror, and I'm now just thinking, I'm going to take what I can get from this. There is absolutely no point. We are not winning this game, and there's not a lot I can do to turn it around. There goes our Aegea. He is gone. Giuseppe's backing up, and I keep forgetting that the Giuseppe's sonar is longer, sorry, its radar is longer than 9 kilometers. I keep thinking it's 9 kilometers. Now I want to pop a smoke here, but I don't want to let the Giuseppe know that I'm right here, just in case he has that radar available. So I put my torpedoes across there. I think it's the main that was behind me has decided that he actually wants to come through and help now, and there we go. The second I pop my smoke on the cap, we've got the cap. The Giuseppe pops his radar. He's not interested in the main, is he? No. He has got HE loaded because he knows there's a destroyer out here. He's got those really nasty secondaries, and so I am going to have to do, well, what I don't like to do unless it's for a win on points, and that is to run away. We do manage to land some torpedoes there. We completely trash the majority of his hit point pool. The main decides to chip in thinking he's going to get an easy kill. It's probably about his only contribution so far, apart from some snipey shots at the guys that were on B and the Schlieffen at the start. But there is a fire on the Giuseppe. I'm a man with a death wish at the moment, and this Giuseppe is going to punish me for it, because you'll notice on the little icons there that my torpedo tubes have been blacked. I am now a destroyer with no torpedoes, and I am not the Friesland. That is not a good position to be in, but there goes our last battleship, and that leaves me as last man standing. It's 1 against 5. Or should I say, in a couple of moments' time, when this man goes pop, it is going to be 1 against 4. We are, what's that, 500 points pretty much down. We have 1 cap, but red team are going to turn that. Red team still have 2 destroyers, a cruiser and a battleship. That is not good for me. But if you've ever seen the Hulk on TV, when he gets angry, he goes green and he does all kinds of horrible things and smashes things up. And I'm not done with this game yet. As frustrated as I am that this team folded like wet origami, and I think, do I just run for the corner of the map? Do I just drag it out? Because to be honest, when you see the end results on this game, running away and running the clock down is basically stopping some of these people from getting legendary ships back and going and ruining somebody else's day. And that is something that I occasionally do, because some people only have 1 or 2 legendary ships, and to be frank, they have absolutely no reason to be in legendary tier. I know it's a bit of a rant, we all do it. If you look at a lot of the CCs and other streamers, you will see that many of them think the same thing. Wargaming have broken this game. No longer is it a matter of progression and improvement to move yourself up the tiers. You know, you have to prove your worth to get up there. No, you don't. All you have to do is prove that you have a little bit of time, and in some cases a little bit of money, and you can be up there top tier, completely ruining people's days. And talking about ruining people's days, I'm now baiting 2 Shimikazes and a gear, and I think it's a grosser Kurfürst that is left. And I decide that rather than run away, I'm going to see what I can do to ruin these people's days. There we go. There's a Shima, and of course he does the only thing a Shima knows to do, and that is to turn full broadside, and the fact he's not firing his guns means that he is loading all his torpedoes, and all the while he's trying to get those torpedoes away. I'm sorry buddy, but I'm going to gun you to death. And as predicted, here is the wall of skill. My sonar is running. I can see those coming from, well, I'd say a mile away, but it's actually about 2 miles away, just over 3 kilometers. But look, the other Shimikaze, in his dumbness, his 2 brain cells momentarily connected, and he decided to pull the trigger on his guns. So what he has done is tell me exactly where he is. Cheers buddy, because the fact that I am not located means that once I drop detection, you have no idea where I am, because you are not running twist and track or perceptive on a commander. I still have plenty of time on my sonar, and these Shimas, as I said, they are going to pay for thinking that they can pick themselves up a really nice cheap kill. Now I'd love to go after that Aegea and go after the battleship, but I can't. But this Shima gets himself spotted, and look, he is turning broadside, and we all know what a broadside Shima means. It means that you are firing torpedoes, but I don't care about that, because running Grotzmaz smart, and with 2 kills under my belt, I'm doing 22.25% extra damage, and that is enough to take you out of the game for being so damn cheeky, thinking you were going to get a cheap kill on me. And as predicted, again, there is the Shimakaze Wall of Skill, or should I say the Wall of No Skill, because honest, if you were to understand the capabilities of other destroyers at this tier, you would know that those torpedoes weren't getting anywhere near me. I could have survived that game if I wanted, but I was so frustrated with the absolutely slack performance, and as you can see there from the result screens, I think that just highlights it all. Now, it isn't all legendary. There are some tier 8 ships there, and you'd think that at tier 8 people would have some semblance of understanding on how to play this game, and the worst of the worst is I beat the top spot of the winning team on base XP, even though I don't have the 50% win bonus. 2,390 versus 2,388, I think it was, if I remember correctly. So that is an absolute spud run. That would have been a huge game had we been able to pull a win out of it. That's all I've got to say about that one. Don't forget, smash the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. In fact, let me know what you think of Legendary tier as well. Donate to buy me a new box of tissues to wipe away the tears, and until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.